I'm John Bachman. The hunt continues for accomplices in the Paris terror attack, and we are getting word now on an arrest. Police in Bulgaria say they've arrested a Frenchman believed to have links to at least one of the two brothers who killed at least a dozen people in the attack on the newspaper Charlie Hebdo. French police say as many as half a dozen members of a terror cell involved in the attacks may still be on the run. About 10,000 French troops have now been deployed across the country, helping to protect sensitive areas. This includes the offices of the newspaper Liberation, which is housing the remaining staff of Charlie Hebdo. They are planning an unprecedented run of 3 million copies of the next issue, featuring what may be the Prophet Muhammad on the cover, holding a sign reading, "Je suis Charlie," also saying all is forgiven. France today has said goodbye to 3 police officers killed last week. 2 were murdered during the attack on Charlie Hebdo. The third was gunned down by the terrorists who eventually killed 4 people at the kosher market in eastern Paris. Meantime, in Israel, those 4 victims all French Jews have now been buried in Jerusalem. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, speaking at the burial, reminded Jews in France that they will always be welcome to return to their true home of the Jewish people. And more than 20,000 marchers took to the streets of Dresden, Germany. They are supporters of an anti-immigration movement gaining steam in Germany, calling itself Patriotic Europeans Against the Islamization of the West. They are also holding a moment of silence here for the victims of last week's Paris terror attacks. 1 person is dead and dozens more were sickened after smoke filled a D.C. metro tunnel yesterday afternoon. It all happened on a Virginia-bound train that had just left the La Infant Plaza station. Smoke filled about 800 feet down the line.
There are a lot of people vomiting, sick. I feel sick. We don't know what it was. Nobody's saying what it was, just that it was smoke.
Well, the NTSB says something went wrong with the electrical cables a little bit further down the line, creating all that smoke, but there did not appear to be any fire. And later this morning, President Obama will host congressional leaders at the White House. This will be the first time the president and the new leadership, now officially in their seats, have met since the changeover. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and John Boehner, as well as the Democrats in leadership, will be there. And now both black boxes from AirAsia Flight 8501 have been recovered a day after the flight data recorder was pulled up. The Cockpit voice recorder has now been taken out of the Java Sea. That plane went down with 162 people on board last month. Searchers are still working on recovering most of the plane and the bodies of still over 100 victims that remain missing. And college football has a new national champion. Ohio State beat Oregon 42-20 in the first national championship game under the playoff system. And there was some tear gas last night for some of the Ohio State fans that got a little bit out of hand. Another update coming up for you in 30 minutes. Now back to America's Forum.